without further ado, welcome to the War of '04. Cara, what's happening?
So we have a match between the the two big decks of this format. We have, of course, the iconic Blaziken deck, but on the other side, we have the Team Magma deck that famously won the World Championship in 2004, not just in Masters, but in all three age divisions. This was the famous Japanese secret deck that swept the 2004 World Championship.
Yes, so right away, this is the most important match of the probably the format, or at least the most iconic one. And so far, it looks like Grand Majoner is playing the more retro Chris Fulop style version with we see Rayquaza EX and a Fire Energy, so we can reasonably guess this is a Blaziken deck. Now, Grandma Joner, who is that, Kara?
So, and this is part of the reason I was so excited about this match. Grandma Joner, for those of you who have been around a while, he was a longtime user of PokeGym, and this is Sebastian Crema, a player who was playing Pokemon from the early days of the Nintendo era, and he is a pretty decorated player.
Oh,
He's got
Sebastian, one of the best retro players, or one of the best players from back in the day, no question about it.
absolutely. So let me see if we are able to
So
access these deck lists.
while Kara does that, most iconically about Sebastian probably is that Sebastian went undefeated in Swiss at Worlds 2006, playing Bombtar, and after Swiss, Sebastian played up against the bottom seed of Top Cut, who was none other than Chris Fulop himself, and he lost. So Sebastian, undefeated in Swiss, unfortunately did not get to make a long run at Worlds '06. But among the players that are playing today, we have several players who were playing back in the day and were quite successful, and Sebastian is certainly one of them. Now, unfortunately, Sebastian's start is looking quite grim, only having this lone Rayquaza. Now,
Yeah,
okay,
and
so
he is staring down a. Oh, never mind.
that
We
Dunsparce coming
have
in to
the
save the day.
Dunsparce. Now we didn't get a chance to talk about Dunsparce yet, but this is the de facto starter in the format. That strike and run attack is at the time unprecedented. It lets you search your deck for three different basic Pokemon, put them on your bench, and get your setup going.
Oh yeah, one of the best cards in the format. We will be seeing it all day long and saying its name all day long. Now, it's very vital that Sebastian did get that Dunsparce and that multi energy, because otherwise that Zangoose was probably going to one shot the Rayquaza next turn. And instead, Sebastian able to Dragon Burst, knock out that Zangoose, and although his board still does not look great, at least it looks like we'll have a game. And Doritos Wizard is trying their best to make sure that this game does not last any longer.
Evan, let me draw your attention real quick to your messages. So I actually like that Dragon Burst play that Sebastian made. And now I don't know if he didn't have a switching card to get the Dunsparce out, but actually looks like he's attaching to that Rayquaza again. Maybe going to go for a Spiral Growth. Of course, he might be. Well, yeah. If I had to guess, I would say that he is going to stick by that Rayquaza, try to just put on pressure with that in the early game, and slide into the Dunsparce a little bit later to get set up afterward. It's a bit of an unorthodox way to play with the deck that usually wants to strike and run immediately. But with the awkward Rayquaza start and the tempo loss that he had, that
Oh,
because of that,
and it's a Tails.
oh,
So, yes, the fact that this Rayquaza has fighting resistance is also going to do wonders for this Rayquaza. Basically forcing this Groudon to start linear attacking around, which is absolutely a viable strategy, but while this Rayquaza takes forever to set up pressure.
Yeah,
but it'll
it's a
be a
little
long
bit
game.
scary. It's a little bit scary that that this Rayquaza with its big two retreat cost is up here and not putting on that pressure because that linear attack is going to prove to be a problem. This this Magma deck is known for its early aggression. That's a big part of why it was able to sweep the World Championship like it did. And, sniping 20 on the bench doesn't seem like a lot, but it sets up really good math for that big pulverize attack down the line. So I'm really interested in seeing what Sebastian does about this. That Dunsparce is already looking shaky.
Getting powered up, so Sebastian does have the warp point, which
And we have the
means
warp point.
we will get a strike and run before this Dunsparce goes down. That is huge for Sebastian.
That's going to make all the difference for sure. I would imagine. Now, one of the big things we're going to see is because that Dunsparce has strike and run. So after it puts three basic Pokemon on the bench, it has the option to switch with one of them. And I think one of the things that we're going to see in matches is the decision of when to run. If I had to guess, I would say this Dunsparce is going to stay active and stare down that Groudon next turn.
Well, there's actually a Numel active, which is interesting on doritoswizard's side. They will have to try to move it out of the active. But I agree with you. I think that Dunsparce is just going to stay there. Otherwise, you're opening up for a linear attack down the line anyway.
Yeah, I just assumed that Groudon is going to find its way active. This is the Magma deck. They always have a Groudon active.
They do always have Groudon active, and it actually isn't that hard. They have it on board with Magma Switch and retreat into the Groudon. Or maybe they play several copies of Briny, you can pick it up. Maybe they even play a more unconventional card like Warp Point in the list.
Yeah, now 2004 World Champion Sugiyoshi Yamato did run 2 copies of Mr. Briny's Compassion in his deck, as well as a Switch. So if this list is anything like that one, and we don't know that it will be, but if this list is anything like that one, he will have a few switching options, aside from, of course, just paying that 1 retreat cost.
Wow. That is an interesting strike and run, getting a Dunsparce, a Skitty, and a Magnemite. Cara, this bench is full and there's only one single Combusken in play. What do you think that means for Sebastian's long-term plan?
If I were the Blaziken player in this situation, I wouldn't be feeling very comfortable with only one Combusken. Now, Sebastian is a great player, so I have to imagine that he has something in mind when he made this game plan. But I have to admit, I don't really understand throwing out an additional Dunsparce.
Now, attaching the fighting, knocks out the Dunsparce. What do you think about that play?
I think that's a reasonable position as the Magma player. Just take your prizes where you can. There was a world I might have considered just linear attacking the bench Dunsparce and force Sebastian to commit another energy to the active to get it out of there. But let's see how this develops.
Perhaps they're just setting up an easy prize later in the game with that heavily damaged Dunsparce.
And then we see another Skitty come down. So Sebastian is really committing to this this light Blaziken strategy, which is really intriguing. Now the question is, are we going to see the sudden flash attack? One of the reasons the Dunsparce was so good was that in addition to the strike and run to get set up, it also has sudden flash, which lets you flip a coin, and if heads, the defending Pokemon is paralyzed. Let me tell you, my friends in the audience, we are going to see some sudden flashes this weekend. I would almost guarantee it.
The coin flips will be raining down from this tiny little... What is Dunsparce? Like a flying snail?
Dunsparce is a friend, is what Dunsparce is.
Yes, they absolutely are.
I think Dunsparce is...
And here we go. Sudden flash tips.
Sudden flash... Oh. I think Dunsparce is based around the Tsuchinoko. Like a Japanese mythological serpent. But I'm not an expert on that sort of thing, so I'm not going to delve into that too much. I just know Dunsparce is a friend.
Very interesting.
One of my all-time favorite Pokemon.
Perhaps someone in the audience will have more information about the mythology of Dunsparce, but in the meantime, this sudden flash is a Tails. And okay, so this Dunsparce going down, doritoswizard saying, no more fodder, give me a real Pokemon to fight up against. Carrot, Do you think maybe Sebastian prized a bunch of Torchic?
There's a distinct chance of that. That's one of the things that the that play could telegraph.
Just
So we're
going into the
seeing
Blaze Kick.
he does not seem to have a lot to work with. He just slammed that Blaziken EX, went for that Blaze Kick, and that was the end of that. Blaziken EX is pretty decent against Magma because of that Blaze Kick that Blaze Kick attack combined with Blaziken's high HP, but still, this is a very awkward position to be in for Sebastian.
I agree. I think the only thing that would make this better for doritoswizard is to play a Desert Ruins at some point, and I think the pressure can really get started. I just want to check Sebastian's discard pile real quick. He's been hitting energy this whole game, but it hasn't been much else, and I'm starting to wonder, even if Sebastian gets a Delcatty next turn, will he even have the energy to start drawing off of it?
Hopefully he has planned ahead for that, and if he hasn't been playing draw supporters and he hasn't been evolving his Pokemon very much, he has to have something in that hand. So I'm wondering if he just has a whole pile of energy in there.
So that is the question. Now, we see reversal heads going after this Rayquaza. Oh, wow. A buffer piece.
I wonder
remind us what this card does. So buffer piece will reduce 20 damage dealt to this Rayquaza next turn. And
that
just going for a linear
uncommon attack. That's an uncommon tech in the Magma deck. So he's doing what I thought. He is dragging up that Rayquaza because of that big 2 retreat cost. He's cutting off that pressure from that Blaziken, forcing Sebastian to draw a switching card to keep attacking. Or, of course, he can draw and attach a fire energy. But moral of the story is he needs to have something to keep up that pressure.
Well, so that's the warp energy. And would you look at that buffer piece? Groudon lives. 10 HP left. That's incredible. This is round 1, Cara.
That buffer piece ended up being crucial for this turn. And yeah, that extra attack from Groudon is going to be a big game changer.
This is incredible. Unfortunately, if doritoswizard had like a Magma energy, they could do a play where they Magma switch and then briny up this 90 damage Groudon and fully heal it. But instead, oh wait, there it goes. There's the briny.
Hold up. Oh no, that is devastating for Sebastian. He's going to be attacking with a fresh Groudon. Those 2 turns of attacks, they mean nothing now. And we just have doritoswizard taking a big lead in tempo.
That is a massive setback for Sebastian. And amazing sequence there by doritoswizard. Exactly perfect math from the buffer piece into the briny. They said, Sebastian, you need a Dragon Burst, otherwise I'm living another turn. And okay, now we see a Tails and Tails on Blaze Kick burning this Groudon. I actually prefer burning an opponent with Blaze Kick than dealing the 20 damage. What are your thoughts on that, Cara?
Burn is only as good as the flips. So if that Groudon gets a couple of unfortunate burn flips, like it did going into doritoswizard's turn, then that burn's going to add up really quick. But if he just keeps flipping heads, then that burn's not going to do very much. So we'll see how that plays out. But the big thing is, this Groudon is now in a prime position to be knocked out by a follow-up Blaze Kick, and we're going to have to see how doritoswizard wants to respond to that. Yeah. Now, what's interesting is there's actually not yet a ton of damage on Sebastian's board. doritoswizard has not played that crucial Desert Ruins stadium. And we just see a Pulverize and a Tails from Burn. So that Groudon is going down guaranteed.
The Groudon's going down.
Blaziken's looking shaky too.
But doritoswizard attaches the fighting to Zangoose and not to Groudon. And that is very interesting. I wonder if it seems like they are expecting for Rayquaza to come up next. And 60 HP left on Blaziken means that a team play can knock out this Blaziken EX next turn if doritoswizard has 2 more basics that they can throw onto the bench.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's the game plan. Just get that team play knockout without exposing another Groudon.
These next few turns will be very interesting, Cara. We see Sebastian having an Oracle. Maybe he can finally start getting more than one Blaziken on the board. We'll see what he has
The,
queued up on the top of the deck.
the problem is that Oracle, when there's no Del Caddy, it doesn't feel great to play. You were putting two cards on top, and then you have to wait an entire turn to see them. Now, the classic often with those desperation oracles is put two cards on top, one of which is a Steven's advice. Now, he
Absolutely.
has 6 cards in hand, so we'll see if he can play down his hand enough to use the Steven's advice, if that's what he's going for. But I imagine with that desperation oracle that he's setting up a supporter for next turn to hopefully give himself some action to get back into this game. But
Wow.
staring down a potential 2 additional
Wow.
prizes. Oh, I like.
Oh, and it does
Do I
not
like
pay
this?
off.
No, I didn't even have time to react to it. He went for that tackle, hoping for a burn tails. Did not get the burn tails. Now Doritos Wizard has a chance to get that Groudon out of there and spare it.
Oh my
Now,
gosh.
obviously, that's a desperation move from Grandma Joner. He's trying so hard to recover some of that advantage that he lost with that awkward start early in the game. And had he had that burn flip and tails, it would have made a big difference.
It
That
would
Groudon
have
would
been.
have gone down with.
It would have
Oh,
been
and we see
huge.
the retreat.
So, okay, a solid retreat. I wonder if Doritos Wizard is going to use the Magma Energy now and just take out this Skitty, or if it's time to start sniping. We see the Magma Energy, so it looks like Skitty's probably going down.
I have to imagine we're seeing a pulverize here.
All right, 3 prizes to 5. Doritos Wizard with a very large lead at this point, and ooh, Grandma Joner's bored. It's going to need a little miracle.
But now it doesn't feel necessarily that bad depending on what Sebastian draws. Now he
Wow,
actually got to put that copycat
copycat
on top of his deck,
for
so he
13 cards.
he has a massive hand now, and if he can respond here with a Blaziken, that's going to go pretty far. He has that Delcatty and that Magneton, so now his engine's online. He can essentially draw 3 cards every single turn off that energy draw.
Now
Now,
there's
what I want to see if I'm Sebastian is Torchic, Rare Candy, Firestarter Blaziken. I want to see him get those fire streams online as soon as possible because, that Camerupt has 40 damage on it. That Groudon has 80. One of the ways he can catch up in that game is spreading damage and taking a couple of incidental knockouts along the way. So let's see if he can get a little bit closer to that goal. We still don't know if he
he
prized Torchic.
he's really thinking right now. He is taking his time, and while we wait for him to make an action, I just want to note this is a warp energy attached to Rayquaza and not a multi. So there is not a possibility of this Rayquaza attacking unless Sebastian plays Basic Lightning.
And if he does, of course, that will be a pretty underwhelming Dragon Burst for 40. If I'm attacking with this Rayquaza, I'm considering a Spiral Growth again and try to high roll.
He is really thinking. He has not made an action yet. Magnetic Field. Ugh.
Okay, we
Wow.
see the energy.
He
We see
discarded an
the
energy. He
yeah.
discards a fire to get 2 fire back. That's so interesting. His hand must. What is it?
I just have to imagine at this point that he has indeed prized a full 3 Torchic.
It really might be possible. Plays the weakness
Oh,
guard.
and a
That's a cool
weakness
tech.
guard.
This is a very
Very
interesting
very
tech.
interesting card.
I think it definitely helps against
So
many matchups.
that Zangoose. That Zangoose is not going to KO that Rayquaza. That Rayquaza is going to live no matter what. I wonder if we see the Spiral Growth here because a big Spiral Growth could make a big difference. And we do, and to heads and to tails, but still, just one heads. He gets another energy on that Rayquaza. That Rayquaza EX is going to knock out anything on Doritos Wizards board, provided that Sebastian can get a lightning energy into play. And given that magnetic field, I think he has a pretty good chance of it.
It depends on if he plays the lightning, right? I think I've seen some Blaziken lists only play multi and warp energy do not synergize at all.
Now, can we see that discard pile? Has he just used multi in the past this game?
We've seen a multi in the discard for Sebastian, along with a handful of a couple other energy. And
I have to imagine if he's running warp energy, he's also running some basic lightning. But that's just a guess. But I would hazard a guess that is the case.
all right,
And back to
linear attack
Sebastian.
on the
This is going to be
Blaziken.
a crucial turn. Now,
That was not much from doritoswizard, and we have to again ask, where is the Desert Ruins?
yeah, that Desert Ruins would be making a huge difference in this game if doritoswizard had played one. What I want to see is if Sebastian is running Pokemon Nurse. A Pokemon Nurse on the Blaziken EX would be devastating for doritoswizard. And if Sebastian runs it, he has a couple of turns to find it because that Blaziken could safely eat a linear attack even with the Desert Ruins in play. So I would love to see if a Pokemon Nurse comes down either this turn or next to heal that Blaziken EX.
We will see. It's a hard retreat
Oh!
there. Oh my goodness!
He did. He just
What?
did have the multi energy. Oh, he did play the Nurse. There it is.
Wow,
Incredible.
we just saw hard retreat into Blaziken, attach multi-energy, switch into Rayquaza, Pokemon
And
Nurse
that's a
that
knockout.
Blaziken EX. He's going to knock out his Groudon, and what does doritoswizard have left? Nothing. What a massive move by Sebastian. We'll see if he drew a Torchic off those prizes.
And that we saw that was a very smart play from Sebastian. He didn't have a lightning. He had a multi. That multi does not play nicely with the warp energy. So he retreated that warp energy off and then switched back. It was a little bit resource intensive, but what a swing for Sebastian that game. And
maybe it won't matter.
yeah, we might be seeing a big team play here.
Whoa!
Oh, a reversal.
What does this say about Dorito's hand? Wow. That Zangoose was primed to knock out a Magma, provided they had a single energy in their hand, and
yeah, he must not have a way to get that knockout. Is that just going to be? There's no way he's knocking out the Delcatty, right? Well, I mean,
I don't think I would really love that play if that's what we're about to see. We see the energy moving over to Zangoose. Do they have an energy to attach for turn? Oh man. Another reversal. Whoa.
was that a misclick? What's
Wow.
going on? What is that a third reversal?
Oh my gosh.
What
And
is
we're
going
back
on
to
here?
it. That's interesting. Wow.
I don't even know what happened there. I have to assume that was a misclick.
Reversal, undoes the damage. And that might have been the fourth reversal in the
I think it was, yeah.
in the deck.
I think doritoswizard played all four of them, and I do not like this position if I'm Sebastian. He doesn't like it either. We see that little reaction from him in the chat.
Wondering who to promote. Wow, none of these promotions feel good. There really isn't a way to knock out this Zangoose even. Oh man.
I see a question in chat. Will we do more 04 tournaments in the future? You know, I can't speak for this particular tournament series, but I can guarantee you there will be more streamed retro tournaments down the line.
And if you'd like to run retro tournaments,
cooking.
Cara's got stuff cooking, and you know what? You can cook too. If you would like to see more retro tournaments in the future, feel free to take the initiative, get the organizer status on Limitless, and try your hand at running your own series. This is actually the first ever edition of this tournament series, so it is still a young tournament in its own right. And it's been amazing seeing all of the turnout and the reception so far. We're going to have some great games and great matches. And yeah, I'm having fun. Hope you're all having fun too. And if you'd like to see more in the future, consider taking that first step. Speaking of first steps, well, we're seeing an energy draw, and there is a Torchic. We have to know if all the other Torchics in the deck are gone. I mean, there are 3 cards left in Sebastian's deck, and there we go.
Oh, yep. He says he had 3 prize. That is very, very unfortunate.
And yet, for pricing 3 Blaziken, this has been an exciting game. We finally get a fire starter down. It's going to take quite a bit to make an attack this turn, though.
Yeah, I don't like Sebastian's position here at all. I think he has a chance, but it's a big, big long shot.
We have someone saying they cannot hear us, so I'm going just to double check. Could anyone post in the chat if you can hear Cara and I? Okay, so we do have audio, so that is great to hear. And speaking of hearing, it's just an attach and fire stream and pass for Sebastian. The good news is this Blaziken is very difficult to knock out, and now that doritoswizard has no more reversals, it does not look like the pressure is coming anytime soon. So,
hold up.
Oh,
are we gonna see a dark hand?
Wait, Blaziken has psychic weakness.
It sure does.
Is there enough though? It's not enough. It's only doing 40, which turns into 80.
Oh my god!
Wow, 80 damage done to Blaziken EX.
That's not a deal breaker. But if we see a Desert Ruins come down, that's gonna start to get pretty scary.
Well, one more hit, and this Blaziken EX is going down. Wow, heads up play there from doritoswizard, showing the versatility of Magma. I mean, like, Groudon is already insanely powerful, and you just get to have Claydol and Zangoose and Camerupt as well. How did we not know about this deck? It's so great to see it now.
It was definitely a different era as far as information goes back then. I know some players in North America had heard about the Groudon or the Magma deck and kind of just disregarded it.
Oh, it's a theme deck.
Okay.
Town Volunteers just puts Rayquaza.
Shuffling some stuff back.
I mean, 4 cards left in deck. Surely this game will end in prizes, but if it doesn't, the deck out is coming shortly, and that is a thing in 04. You could absolutely draw your whole deck in this format.
Yeah, you might notice this is turn 26 of play. So this has been a very long, drawn out, back and forth game, and let me tell you, we will see plenty more like it throughout the day. So we see a friend ball, probably going to get that other Torchic into play. We might see a rare candy Blaziken. I am praying for a Magma stream, or sorry, a Fire stream this turn. And I would say if we get that rare candy Blaziken, then we are set up for that.
So taking a look at the rest of the tournament, every other match has finished. So everyone is currently here in the spectators and in the stream watching the exciting finish to this match here. Sebastian back against the wall. Can he pull out a miracle?
Okay, we see a fire starter, but if we don't have another Blaziken, we're not going to have another fire starter.
No attack.
Is he just going to take a hit? Oh, I don't like that at all.
If we look at the hand size, both players at 11, so it looks like Dark Hand unlikely to swing for 80.
But still, he could set up. doritoswizard could try to set up another Pulverize or a team play to get more of that pressure going on in there. I don't know exactly what resources he's been through. He's used 3 Magma energy, I had to guess, so he's definitely light. But
we see 2 Magma in the discard for Doritos.
Just 2. Interesting. I thought he used more. All right, we see a second Claydol hit the board.
Now, there are a lot of energy in this discard pile for Doritos, and that Camerupt cannot use Overheat anymore. Okay, Conspirator, so we're fine on the energy front. It just means... Oh, wait.
Yes.
No. There was a world where they could have Dark-Handed for 80 with that Conspirator. That would have increased the hand size beyond 11 had they not evolved into the Claydol. So, there's the Magma energy. Just going for 40. All right, Sebastian, you've got another turn. What you gonna do? Just 2 energy on this active Blaziken. Still 2 Torchic in the prizes. And yet, it's looking okay. Or at least...
Okay, this is going to be the crucial turn. We're attached to fire energy, lightning energy to Rayquaza.
Desert
Is he going to go for a?
Shaman!
Is he going to go for a Dragon Burst this turn?
So, we do get confirmation that the lightning energy's in the deck, so that's good. 2004 World Championship Finals match, colorized. Hey, this is an iconic matchup for a reason. And it's certainly been interesting. I don't know if Chris Fulop had ever prized 3 Torchic in the finals of 04. Perhaps someone from back in the day can enlighten us.
Okay, so I'm very interested in seeing what Sebastian's game plan is here. At some point, he has that option to get off a couple of fire streams and take out both the Camerupt and the Groudon on the bench. So that's going to be good for him. But right now, it seems like he's prioritizing attacking with that Rayquaza, maybe.
Wait.
Yep, here it comes.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. Fulop did against Magma prize pieces of that Blossom tech he was running.
Wow! Heads! Heads!
Spiral Growth heads?
2 heads!
Okay, we are going to see a Dragon Burst knockout.
Sebastian with another lease on life. Again, doritoswizard has no reversals. They can just take what they're given. And
I'm guessing Sebastian is banking on that Zangoose not being able to attack into that Rayquaza this turn.
So the only way to do that is to Magma switch and then Briny and then attach. And they played a Conspirator, which means no Briny. That Desert Shaman may have given doritoswizard an unfavorable hand.
So we might be seeing the Sebastian comeback here. Let's see what happens now. Okay, energy onto that Zangoose. Is he just preparing for the team play next turn?
Wow.
That actually could be that could be scary.
I mean, they have so much time left. Sebastian has four prize cards. At minimum, yeah, Sebastian has 4 more turns to try to win this game. And
the Blossom was referring to Chris Fulop's Blossom tech in his 2004 deck, not Sebastian's Blossom. If Sebastian had Blossom, he for sure would have played it by now. He can't have prized all of that.
Pigeonhole principle coming in clutch.
Energy on the Rayquaza. There's the Blaziken EX. Okay, another energy.
Do you even use Dragon Burst?
At this point, if we see that Dragon Burst without some kind of like weakness guard or something, that Rayquaza EX is going down immediately. So I don't think we can afford to see a Dragon Burst. I think unless Sebastian is willing to gamble that there is not an energy in doritoswizard's hand, I think that doritoswizard had the good counterplay to the Dragon Burst threat, and it's up to Sebastian to find a new response.
He Dragon Burst. Oh, for 40.
Oh, interesting. Setting up
what, a Fire Stream, maybe?
Yeah, perhaps.
This is weird, Cara. I don't know what's happening anymore. I mean, Sebastian has 4 minutes left on his clock too, so who knows how much longer this game will last.
I think we can see this match finish. I'm not worried about that, but I think I like what Sebastian's doing here. He is saying you don't have very much mobility. If that Zangoose comes active, my Rayquaza is going down. So I'm going to set up some longer term plays without exposing that Rayquaza to the knockout.
Copycat for 5.
We see why Sebastian Crema was such a good player in the EX era, and not just in the EX era. To be fair, he won a regional championship in 2015, but we can just see why he was one of those top players in North America.
Okay,
Okay.
so wow. Okay, volcanic ash time.
Oh, I hope so. Yes, we're gonna see the volcanic ash onto the Zangoose.
Wow. Okay, Doritos Wizard, you have no energy in play. You cannot use overheat. How are you getting out of this one?
This is Sebastian Crema. I do believe he is a poker player nowadays. I don't know a lot about what he's been up to lately, but I do believe that's correct.
He does play professional poker,
Yeah,
as
I
do
thought
several
so.
retro legends at this point, and still got the skills with the cards, even if they look a little bit different than the normal 52. So, okay, I mean, there's no way Doritos Wizard can attack this turn, right? What do you even do at
I
this point?
yeah, I think Sebastian might have figured this out. Now I think I think it might finally be time to start seeing those fire streams. Now the only thing is, if the my dream scenario here would be to see Firestream like two-shotting a clean Clay Doll or clean Zangoose, so that bench damage can pick off the camera up and the Groudon for free. I think Doritos Wizard might play around that by throwing one of them active. Well, actually, no, the Firestream's not going to pick up the KO on the active Clay Doll. It only does 50.
The active clay doll has 40 damage on it, so
Oh,
it
that
has,
has
it has
80
40
HP.
HP
My bad.
left.
I am so bad at math.
So yes, there is a world where you can fire stream the active clay doll, knock it out. Camerupt and Groudon have 10 HP left. Now Zangoose would also have 60 HP and Claydol would have 70 HP, which means a second fire stream is not enough to take 3 prizes. Oh wait,
The
no wait, you only have three
the
prizes
moral of the
left.
story, yeah, the moral of the story is I think if Sebastian Firestreams this turn, he creates a one-turn clock.
Well, speaking of clocks, Doritos Wizard really in the tank right now. Just played Steven, drew a lot of cards, and were any of those useful? Again, if we take a look at this discard pile, we see an attach and pass. That is another buffer piece. So this Claydol will not get knocked out by a fire stream. What is happening?
Oh, that's
And it may not matter. Everything is 10 HP left. Doritos Wizard, I mean, look at this discard pile.
okay. Here it
So
comes.
many energy. One single Briny. So if they have a Briny for this turn, they
Now
can
it's
hold
now
on.
or never. We have that one-turn clock.
All right, what you got for us, Magma? You only need to take one more prize. How hard can that be? Look at that Blaziken on the
Well,
bench. It's so damaged.
when there's a clean Blaziken active, it looks pretty hard.
Wow.
I think that Sebastian has found the line to lock this game up. I don't know if Doritos Wizard has a line. I think he is out of resources, out of options. Even if he Bryonies, I think that's only delaying the inevitable. It seems like Sebastian has a pretty solid grip on this game now.
Running out of gas. Look at all these energy in the discard pile. They are really piling up. And the fact that Camerupt is unusable and has been for many turns now, we saw that Doritos Wizard prioritized that second Claydol. Was there a world where, wow, the concession,
Okay,
Sebastian Crema,
Sebastian Crema wins the game.
prizes,
Incredible, incredible.
prizes 3 Torchic,
All right,
does not matter. Wow, what a phenomenal round one. And Cara, we've got so many more rounds to go. The day's just getting started.
yes, that was such a good match. We see why Sebastian Crema was such a great player in his day. Top four at the 2004 World Championship in the seniors division with the Blaziken deck. Absolutely incredible stuff. Welcome back to the War of '04, everyone. We are joined here with our winner of our round one feature match, Grandma Joner,
AKA
and
Sebastian Crema.
aka Sebastian. And Yes, so I wanted to start right off. When you did your first strike and run, I was a little bit confused by the Dunsparce play. I was thinking there's no way that he could have possibly prized his other three Torchic. But oh my god, you prized three Torchic, huh?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering, I was kind of debating whether to type it in the chat right away or just kind of wait a bit because I didn't necessarily want my opponent to realize that immediately. I'm sure it didn't take him too long to figure that out when a couple turns went by and I didn't get one. But when it became obvious, I kind of let you guys know even after I took that first prize, and still was unable to get it. So yeah, I mean that required a little bit of maneuvering. I'm not sure I've quite seen a game exactly like that. So that's why Pokemon's always so interesting.
Yeah, and that's what's beautiful about these older formats too. You just have so many turns to kind of maneuver yourself out of those situations. Uh, did you, when you saw that the Torchic were prized, did you think, well, this game is over, or did you start cooking up a game plan?
Yeah, I mean, I knew the odds are kind of against me there, but maybe Rayquaza is actually difficult for Magma to handle unless they get a Zangoose right away, which I was fortunate enough to able to knock out that early one. So I knew I would have a couple of turns, but I needed to likely get another KO to be able to try to get a Torchic off the prizes. So I was trying to hope to do that, but without my hand was actually quite dead for a while there. Without it was like no, I couldn't get Delcatty and didn't really
Oh
have
my god.
many big draw supporters. So I kind of realized I had to just sacrifice a bunch of stuff and hope that he couldn't get a Ruins to stick, which I'm not sure if he plays them, but he was unable to find one.
Yeah,
Um,
that whole time you had that Blaziken EX and that Rayquaza EX, and I was just thinking, this is like ripe for a Desert Ruins. I didn't see any indication that you had a way to counteract that Ruins damage. So
no, no, that would have been very, very troubling for sure. But yeah, I kind of there was a turn where I promoted Kabuskin there, and I had a Blaziken EX in hand, like four Blaziken in hand, and nothing. So I actually had to just gamble that I top decked an energy, which I was able to do so, and then start to use Blaze Kick to apply a little bit of pressure. And fortunately, I was able to kind of retreat around, use some switching cards and whatnot, and just be able to play a little bit of defense just long enough to hang around there.
So,
that go ahead.
Sebastian, tell us about your deck choice and how you felt coming into this tournament and the choices that you made.
Yeah, I mean, I played Blaziken for a long time. Did well with it in 2004 in the tournament, and have always enjoyed the deck. So for me, it was just kind of a question of what version or what build I would use because it's my favorite deck from 2004. I tested a little bit. I know a lot of the guys. I'm not probably as well versed as some of the other players who are more up to date on the modern statins of the current format. I noticed I took a look at a couple of the deck lists that did well in a prior tournament. I think it was Jason had Blaziken list, and there were a couple others. Where most of them have just dropped the Magneton and the Rayquaza, and I get that it's for consistency and whatnot. I just feel that this, I did several games without the Magneton. I was getting these kind of clunky hands where I was running out of energy and things like that. So I just decided to put it back in, and it just gives a little bit of flexibility, and it's good against Gorbis too. And I do like the Rayquaza. It's very good against random situations and sort of bulky attackers. It's good against Magma. It's good against one shot. So I kind of wanted to keep the Rayquaza in the build, and it kind of with the lightning goes well with the Magneton. So I just decided to roll with it.
Now we saw that crucial weakness guard tech, and I like that a lot. That's not a super common card from from this era, and it's not a super common card in contemporary lists either. So
Yeah, I kind of picked that up actually off one of the old lists. So I forget. I'm not sure if it was Jason. I think it was Isaiah, who had a weakness guard in his list, and I saw that and I thought it was quite brilliant. I actually ran Ancient Tomb in 2004. in my Worlds deck, which was a little bit underwhelming because it doesn't block weakness for EX Pokemon, and it can get also countered right away. So I always, Gorbis is very tough for Blaziken, so and also colorless weakness for Rayquaza too. So I thought that the weakness card is an excellent idea. It allows your Blaziken EX to survive a turn for sure, and I think it's very useful in tons of situations. So I definitely can't take credit for that, but I saw it in one of the Blaziken lists and thought it was excellent.
Well, it already worked out for you in round 1, and I'm sure that we will see that weakness card coming up in the rest of your day. Now, it was just round 1. We still got plenty more rounds to go. Are there any decks that you would love to see, or any decks that you're kind of crossing your fingers you get to dodge?
Definitely any deck with Gorbis is always going to be tough for me, regardless of whatever type of counters I have. I just I hope to just be able to play a game. Sometimes you can get dead hands or quick losses, like against decks like Muck. So hopefully I can sort of maneuver my way around enough or be dealt good enough hands to just get a full game in, and that's really all I can ask. So having a lot of fun.
Well, even with prizing 3 Torchics, you still ended up getting a nice full game. So here's to more of those to come. Do you have any last thoughts, Sebastian and Cara?
Thanks so much for putting this on, guys, and having me on here, and appreciate being the feature match of the round. That was very kind of you guys. Really, it was super fun following along with the commentary. So this is my first time doing a limitless tournament, so it's a cool way to start. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see you again in the top 8. So best luck to you in your next round, and we're going to take a very short break and then get back in with round 2. Don't go anywhere, friends.